Hello, this is Scott Barger again. Um, today's subject is depression impressions, dealing with depression as an Aspie. I put a number one on there because I don't know how many times I'm going to come back to this subject. It's pretty much a crucial subject for a lot of Aspies, from what I understand. And there are a lot of times when Aspies, people with Asperger's, are confused by those who don't have it as having depression because some of the symptoms of Asperger's are similar to depression, even though the Asperger person uh, may not be depressed at all. But they do show some of the same signs. For my depression, when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of it. I don't think I had it really until I was in high school. Um, I wasn't. It was obvious that I was not like the other kids, and I wasn't going to be, no matter how much I tried to fix it. And this started to weigh on me and my life wasn't going in the same direction a lot of people's lives were going at the time. I was later to driving a car and things like that. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to progress much. I didn't want to change much. I enjoyed the neighborhood I grew up in. I wished everybody would kind of stay the same age and stay there, and nobody ever moves away or anything. And I think some of that weighed in because Asperger's, one of the symptoms, one of the realities of Asperger's for a person like me and others is we don't like change. That's all there is to it. We just don't deal well with it. And I've had to teach myself basically to learn how to change. Nobody taught me. I will say though, there have been a couple of therapists I've had in the past who tried to encourage me to do something different. Um, some results were bad. One was somewhat disastrous because I was told to go with my friends to a roller rink, and that was not my thing. Uh, and it still ain't. It wasn't when I went either. It was I made a fool of myself. But by the time I got to high school, I found that my depression was a byproduct, and it hung on and intensified through adulthood as a result of not having a purpose in life, not having a direction. I mean, I had some ideas when I was younger, like in the 70s when I was a kid, and I was watching a lot of the sci-fi shows and things like that. And there was a magazine that came out called Starlog, and they talked about sci-fi shows, how they were made. And they used to have home movie contests, and kids would enter contests for that stuff. So I wanted to get the movie camera and do my own stuff, but it never happened. And if it had, I either would have lost those films by now or would have been too embarrassed to look at them, as a lot of folks are. But I, through my 20s and 30s, and by the time I reached my 40s, there's this ramp, this feeling of I've not accomplished anything. I was not married. I didn't have the kids. I didn't have the house or the payments. I had no career path regardless of jumping from one company to another, there was no definitive career path for me. I did a couple of jobs I did were okay. They were good, paid well, had good, you know, extras they give you, the insurance and all that, and they paid well. I could pay rent and all that, but a lot of them were garbage, and there were nowhere jobs for me. I mean, this sounds arrogant, but it will. But the truth is, a lot of Aspies can be very smart. We just don't know what to do with it, and we don't know how to think clearly. We don't think like other people, so we think we're not thinking clearly. But in our own minds, yeah, we're right. But I never could get the train on the tracks and figure out which way to go. I think about this at this point in my life now. Yes, I understand there is a purpose. I'm married. I love helping my wife with things. Um, I like. I don't know. I help around. I mean, I will do stuff, even though I'm a little limited physically, but not as bad as some people I know, which put me in the disability thing. But I do have more of a sense of purpose now, and especially with getting these videos, doing these videos, I feel like it's kind of like I'm getting something off my chest, like therapy. At the same time, though, I hope maybe somebody can, beside my throat clearing because of sinuses, somebody can get some kind of data, some kind of a timeline, some kind of a line of reasoning out of this that would help them at least half understand an Aspie. Um, I find that my sense of accomplishment in the beginning, through all my life, and even now, has come through an expression of creativity. I do have the temperament. If you ever heard of the temperament thing with the choleric and all that, I am melancholy. We are the creative ones, where the actors, the film directors, the musicians, the artists, whatever, sculptors. So we're the ones that got to be making something. We got to be expressing ourselves through the things we make. And this is a form of communication, really. It's our core trying to wiggle its way out through our hands and the things we make, or through our eyes or our ears or whatever, our voice. And when I am creative, I am the happiest. And yes, I am picky when I'm creative, but I think if I could produce or make a thing or whatever that is enjoyable to other people, it's enjoyable to me to see that in them. And it's my understanding that from other artists and whatnot, I don't consider myself an artist, but people that sing and whatnot, they talk about the crowd dynamic. And when you enjoy yourself on the stage or whatever, the people pick that up and they enjoy it. And then there's this reciprocal phenomenon between the artist and the audience. And it's like a group participation thing. It's very enjoyable. Anybody that's been to a concert where they know the band is just going bonkers and enjoying themselves and they sound great and everything, they're just like, just everybody gets nuts. But the creativity thing for me, and for a lot of Asperger's folks, if it isn't creativity, it's organization. It's things like this. I mean, we are very um, driven. In some cases, when we're driving ourselves and everybody else crazy, it's perfection. But and for the most part, if we can get that under control, um, just try and do a good job. Just do something that people will enjoy. And that's pretty much, I mean, that's what I have at this point. I wanted to talk about just the basic depression thing quickly. And if I have any more about it, which I'm sure I will eventually, there'll be a number 2 of depression impressions. Um, Join me Sunday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That's when I at least try to have these up on the YouTube. I also have a Facebook page of the same name, the Old Gray Aspie. Um, there ain't much else I got to put on it right now, other than thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you come back again.